Hey, everybody, welcome to Our Take Podcast. We're so excited to be here for a new season, a brand new format, brand new everything, guys. We are so thrilled to be back after a long hiatus and a lot of life changes and life lessons learned. We're all three enrolled in school again, so that's a fun one. But I will say this, I am so thrilled again, ladies and gentlemen, to be here. I hope you know that. We're coming back for you to entertain your boots off. That's right, we're going to entertain you. This new format is more of a structured format than we had before, but we're also going to have times where we do sketches, comedy. We're going to be involved in a lot of different things. So, again, thank you guys for coming on. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button either on our YouTube page. But I am so thrilled. And I'm here joined today by Josh and Chris. Chris in the background is a producer today. He'll be popping in every once in a while once if he feels he has something to say or if I ask him his opinion. But he'll be monitoring everything from the background as Josh and I argue with each other. And again, I'm so excited, guys. Josh, what's up, man?
Miss Chris. I feel like I'm singing that song.
Chris, he said he misses you. You got to let your voice be heard for Josh's sake, real quick. There you go. Perfect.
I know, but
All right.
I'd rather you be in this ring of fire with me because I got Professor Dum Dum with his Yankees hat and Adidas shirt. If I had to pick out two things I was terrible that I didn't like in this world, it would be those two things.
I wore him
I
just
bet
for
you got
you.
gray in your beard too, don't you?
I wore him just for you, man. I wore him just for you. Anyway, how excited are you, Josh? Man, we're doing this. We're back, and we've got a lot of good things that we're planning. And how you feeling about this, bro? You know, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. But even though Josh
You're
recently,
like Allen Iverson talking about practice right now with your excitedness.
yeah, man, this ain't about it's about practice, man. Hey, listen, Josh got to go into another country that was warm and full of flowers and awesome food to come back to the gray wasteland known as the Midwest and
Yes.
see snow and horrible weather.
No doubt in my mind that God has forgotten about this state.
Now, come on, that's a little bit harsh, don't you think? It's
No.
Man, it's the crossroads of America. You know, it's the crossroads of America, Josh. You got to appreciate that for what it is.
Well, as Jason Aldean so elegantly said, we're a flyover state, and I want to fly on over and get the heck out of here.
You know, Josh's heart is in Florida, ladies and gentlemen. It really is. He wants the
Or
beaches.
Cayman Islands, pretty nice. Costa Rica.
You know what? I was
Panama
thinking
scares me.
Panama scares you.
Well, they had the day after we left, they had a protest. 500 people got arrested.
The day after you left,
Yep.
did they protest because you left?
You know why I didn't think about that? That's a good point.
You know, I think that is a valid point to make. They knew you were there, and then you left, and they were protesting you didn't get dual citizenship.
Actually, I think it was a political protest. Shocker. Politics with people with power.
There's political protests.
Yeah, our guide was telling us about it, but I don't. I'm not knowledgeable enough to go in depth on it.
Was it? So it was part of the tour.
Well, she was just saying like tomorrow's going to be a bad day. We have a protest planned. The country's going to be closed down.
So you guys got there just in the nick of time.
That's what she said.
You know, leave it to you to be able to get out of there right before all hell breaks loose. Hey, just for the record, NCAA basketball, Josh, Duke beat Wake Forest 90-60.
Boy,
You know, Chris's Wake Forest Demon Deacons and his arch rival Duke. But hopefully Chris can rectify that in NCAA football and not ever lose to Duke ever again. What's on your mind, man? What's got Josh ticking today?
nothing really. Just I'm actually drafting my kid's major league team right now. Well, when we get done with this,
You're doing what?
I'm coaching my boys' major team, so I got to draft our team today.
Oh, that's good. I mean, how many kids are going to be on the team?
I don't know. I got a list of kids. I got to get them like split up between majors and minors evenly.
Are you coaching both?
No, but whoever I don't put in majors will then get moved to minor, et cetera.
Hey, just ask Josh if anyone needs a great umpire to be able to umpire their little league game right here. I
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm excited because being back in school, I just got the email finally that my advisor has just told me that everything went through on their end and they should have the enrollment good to go by the evening and they'll confirm once that goes through for me. So, boom, baby. I am back. We're rolling. We're rolling with fire, chugging water and coffee. But a lot of good things are going on, man. There's a lot of good in life. There's a lot of good things happening. Josh is he's got a lot of opportunity ahead of him for his coaching career coming up, so everything's rolling well. But Josh, I tell you what, why don't we get into some sports?
Sounds good.
Hit me.
Can't. You're too far away.
Well, that's cute, Josh. Cute.
That's not how this goes. I don't come in planned. I'm supposed to give my opinions. You plan it. You tell me what to talk about.
All
I
right.
just got opinions that I like to share with the world, whether they like them or not. Most of the time,
Chris Canty, here you go. Chris Canty just said the Cowboys need to trade Micah Parsons on a podcast or on ESPN. Chris Canty just said the Cowboys need to trade Micah Parsons.
Cowboys need to do a lot of stuff.
What do they need to do, Josh?
Well, what they need to do, I don't think they would do, is I would blow it up. They're top heavy with talent that's not good. As far as salary cap, I don't think Dak Prescott's the guy. CeeDee Lamb is a stud. I do like CeeDee Lamb. He's got a terrible attitude though.
Yeah.
Micah Parsons, I don't really think's a team player either. He needs to get off his podcast and maybe watch some film, or I don't know. It's just not a good look when you're sitting there in a 6-game losing streak, throwing your teammates under the bus, and then not producing.
Well, I mean, yeah, Micah Parsons is one of the best defensive players in the NFL. I mean, you can't really. He wants to be a loyal Cowboy, and there's not very many of those. I think that with the Cowboys, what they need to do is fire Jerry Jones. That would be a start.
That's never.
Fire Jerry, put him in a home, whatever you have to do. Right now, he's mixing up colors and smelling sounds. Like the man needs to go away for a while and just be by himself. And they need to really think about where their direction is going from ownership. And I don't know if Stephen Jones is going to be any better. The man Jerry Jones, who not only insulted his own people in the media that worked for the Dallas Cowboys, but also the same man that and then the same man that didn't get Derrick Henry, the same man who's invested all in Dak Prescott. I just think he needs to go. I think it's time for Jerry to say, "Hey, I had a good run 30 years ago. It's time to go." I don't.
Well, he's gonna. I don't know. He's never gonna give it up. So unless the kids get power of attorney, but I don't think the kids are any better. So kind of stuck in no man's land. They're putting. I don't know. I don't know. I don't have the answers for that team because I feel like the only real way to fix it is
blow
it up, break it down.
Your emotional support, Chris, isn't here to talk about the Cowboys right now. He's not active in the audio. There you go, attaboy. He came in really. Did he come in loud for you on that one? Now he's loud. What about my team? My team, besides the Cowboys, my Raiders, getting Pete Carroll. I mean, we're going all in with a Hall of Fame coach, and it makes my hatred for him less than what it was before. It really does. It makes my hatred for him far less, and makes me believe that the Raiders can do it. Josh,
I love Pete Carroll. Now I know I saw those funny like memes and stuff where He's got a 5-year plan. What? Don't die?
I mean, what is he, 70 some years old? He's in his 70s, right?
Yeah. I believe he's the oldest coach in the NFL.
Is he really? I didn't know that.
But I mean, he won. He's won pretty much everywhere he's been. I think he kind of fits the old school Raider MO of, like hard nosed, play great defense, run the ball.
Yeah, I agree with you
And with
there.
the roster they have, I know some draft projections have them picking up a running back in the first round, like Genty.
Mel
They're
Kiper's
gonna have.
draft does.
They don't have a lot of talent there. They got some good pieces, but they don't have a quarterback either. So, do they pick a running back, or how does the draft, go? Where it's going to make their decision. Do we go for a quarterback? Do we pick up a running back and feed him like Marshawn Lynch? Do they go out in free agency and get a veteran? Do they do something even scarier and stick with Gardner Minshew?
Do you want the opinion of a Raiders fan? I want them to get Shadir Sanders
Yeah,
to be a franchise quarterback and to light up the scoreboard in today's game and go and get a veteran running back in the free agency. Now,
yeah.
you can't go wrong. Either way, you get a franchise quarterback and you invest in them and develop them, or you get a potentially a generational running back in Genty. Either way, then I think they need a quarterback. So if you go with Genty, you need to get a veteran quarterback from free agency. You need to go spend money. I think they have one of the largest salary caps in the NFL. They need to spend the money on a veteran if they go with a rookie running back and let that work and invest in the offensive line. Spend money if you get Genty, spend money on the O line and a quarterback, veteran O lineman, veteran quarterback, and just be consistent this year. Pete Carroll needs a good running back in his offense. He really does. Russell Wilson was great all those years, but why? It's because he had a solid offensive line and he had Marshawn Lynch. Look what he's done without Marshawn Lynch and a solid offensive line.
I agree.
I just it's one of those things that you look at and you're like, wow, huh? You ponder the ceiling and you think to yourself, God, what can the Raiders do since 2002? And the answer's always been absolutely nothing until we spend money. And now we're in a position where we're able to spend money with cap room, and they need to do it. They need to actually invest. And then Pete Carroll, I think, is going to re-energize that team. I think he's a good coach for that position. Terrible college coach, horrible college coach. I cannot stand him as a college coach. But by God, he was a good NFL coach. The Bush putsch still hurts.
I think if they run like that 4-3 with the zone defense and everything, it's going to help them out too, because you're not going to need zone defense is easier when your corners are not studs in your secondary.
Yeah,
As long as they can get pressure, that's the key.
he's got a lot of pressure players on the defense for the Raiders, as long as Crosby stays and all that. And
I believe it.
yeah, and to be fair, I think that it's the Raiders to lose. The Chiefs are vulnerable now. As much as I love Andy Reid and I respect Mahomes and all that, I think that the Chiefs are vulnerable. They're starting to show their vulnerability by the blowout of the Super Bowl, and I think that division is going to be softer this year. And I think the Raiders are going to be able to capitalize on it. I don't see Denver. Denver's defense is solid. The Chargers are the Chargers. I mean, they're going to be there and they're going to be annoying like a nest of hornets. You hit them and they'll sting you. But I think the Raiders have the most upside because they have the most question marks. Do they draft a quarterback? Do they draft a running back? What's Pete Carroll's impact going to be? And I think in those questions, there's going to be more answers sooner or later because of Pete Carroll.
I think you are 100% wrong about
I thought you were going to call me crazy. I thought you were going to say I was nuts.
Because they don't have the most upside. I think what you meant to say is they have the most potential to grow, because the bar was set so extremely low that only Raiders can do. But Denver, maybe they say the sophomore slump for quarterbacks, but Denver should, in theory, another year, second year as a starter in the system with Sean Payton, they should be better. I like Jim Harbaugh. I believe the Chargers are going to be better. They're going to continue to grow and build on what they had. They went 11-6 last year.
Yeah.
And the Kansas City Chiefs are, the defending AFC champions. Do I like them? No.
Even though we
They
have
got
years of
exposed. I
podcast
think
proof to show otherwise.
look, my point is I do enjoy watching the Chiefs, and I have in the past as well. But like I said, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. And like Mahomes got exposed, had happy feet. He was rushing out of the pocket, stepping up into people that were getting blocked. There was lots of chances. Did his offensive line leak? Yes. Did he get pressured some? Yes. But there was other times where he was not pressured, but that alarm in his head was, "Beep."
I stand by what I said. They have the most upside. They have a young team. They have a Hall of Fame coach now. And
Room to grow.
they do have room to grow, but so do the Chargers and so do the Broncos. Everyone has room to go except for the Chiefs. I mean, the Chiefs, I think, have their time has passed. I think it's now time for. I think it's now time, and here is a prediction, ladies and gentlemen. A prediction. We have the Raiders going to the AFC wild card next year. Book it. Right here at this time and place, book it. Nothing.
What did you just say?
The Raiders, look at me. The Raiders are going to the playoffs as a wild card team next year. Book it. You can put it in the bank.
I'm speechless.
You can put it in the bank. I'm telling you can put it in the bank.
All right.
They're only a
I'm not
few
gonna
years
put it-
removed from a playoff team, aside from last year's debacle.
I'm not going to say anything.
I feel like there's an unbridled rage moment coming, but you're trying to reduce it.
I'm fine.
Here's something to add on to the unbridled rage. The Jets are prepared to move on from Devontae Adams and Alan Lazard. Sources, according to ESPN sources. Embarking on the post-Aaron Rodgers era, the New York Jets are prepared to part with two of its favorite wide receivers, Devontae Adams and Alan Lazard. The Jets have given permission to Lazard to seek a trade before the start of the new league year on March 12th. Because of their salaries, Adams and Lazard will be difficult to trade, but they're prepared to make that happen.
Yeah, well, everything I've read is they don't want Rodgers next year.
He's
I
gone.
heard the Giants are gonna make a move and try to get him. So he's just gonna go from one New York team to the other, kind of like your boy Juan Soto.
I hope you see the glare I'm giving you right now. Into the camera.
I see it.
Okay, well, that's a depressing way to end that subject. Let's go to the NBA. Mavericks' Kyrie Irving has torn his ACL and is out the rest of the season, Josh.
Are you serious? I didn't
Yep.
see that.
Dallas Mavericks All-Star Kyrie Irving has suffered a season-ending torn ACL on his left knee, sources told ESPN. Irving, 32, sustained the injury late in the first quarter of the Mavericks' loss to the Sacramento Kings on Monday night. So now they're out Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving.
Yeah, I hate to see an injury like that, especially a season-ending torn ACL, especially at age 32.
Unless it's a Yankee player, but go on.
But I bet you the Mavericks fans right now are just ready to murder that GM.
I mean,
Kyrie Irving goes down. Anthony Davis is going to go down. He's raising his one eyebrow like, huh.
There it is.
All of a sudden, my injury just got a little bit worse. I'll see you in October. Good luck, Dallas.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit here and collect my no state income tax check and enjoy these cushion chairs.
Enjoy these cushion chairs after leaving Los Angeles. I mean, Kyrie he's a good point guard. He's not a great point guard. He's a good point guard.
He's a great point guard.
He's a good point guard. When I think great point guards, Josh, I think of Magic, Isaiah. I think of Chris Paul. I think of Tony Parker. I think of Mo Cheeks, John Stockton, Gary Payton. Those are great point guards. Steph Curry. Those are great point guards. He's a good point guard.
Okay.
I sense your aggravation getting your tolerance getting thinner and thinner.
No, I just think he's probably one of the best ball handlers of all time.
What?
And some of the shots that he gets off and that left-handed game winner that he had. I wouldn't trust him to give me the answers in science class, but I do like him as a point guard.
You know, I think I agree with you on the ball handling, but I think he's overrated. I really
Eh,
do.
I mean, yeah, I think you're right because we saw what happened to him in Boston.
Wait. Hold on. You said you think I'm what?
White.
Okay, fair enough. I was so
Oh,
excited for a minute.
I enjoy watching him play. I think he's a great ball player. I think you ask some of the political stuff and things that happen, but I'll take that out of the equation, and you just like take his ability, and you would go to all the 30 NBA teams and ask, would you want him on your team? They would say yes.
Right. I think it really depends on what your need is at the time because, I will get to other NBA news to wrap up the sports section of this, but it's one of those like at the end of the game, who do you want the ball in the hands of? And I don't want the ball in the hands of Kyrie. I know he's hit a couple big shots in his career, but
He beat the Warriors game-winning shot
I
in the
know,
finals.
I know. I said he's had some big shots in his career, but so is Jimmy Butler, and I don't want anything to do with him. Segueing into our another one with the NBA, the Golden State Warriors on a winning streak. There's a twofold, sorry, two. There's a twofold hit on this one. Jimmy Butler's trade to the Warriors, good or bad, Josh, and Steve Kerr wants more traveling violations called, as do the rest of us that watch the NBA. So, Josh, Jimmy Butler, what do you think?
The trade for the Warriors, if you ask Miami Heat, good riddance. And he is one of those players where once it goes bad, it goes bad.
As we've seen with the last like 4 teams he's been with.
But they talked about how like Curry's kind of been energized by the trade, and there's a belief in on the team that with him they can go and make a run at it. And just when you have a Hall of Fame talent of Curry, who's still playing amazing, he had that 51-point outburst versus the Magic the other day. But when you get players believing and they get a little bit more energy, then good things happen in any level of sports in any sport. A belief is a powerful thing, and I'm a fan of the Warriors. I've enjoyed watching this run, and I'd love to see Curry play relevant basketball before it's all said and done.
Right. And Steve Kerr wanting more traveling violations called, I think, is appropriate because they don't call travels worth a snot in the NBA.
Yeah,
I saw
I
I saw more
mean,
travels
kind of,
called in my high school league this past year than I ever saw in an NBA league.
yeah.
And it was the
I
same
mean,
amount.
that's kind of like saying I wish gas prices were cheaper. I don't think you're going to find very many people that would be like, no.
Well, going out of sports, I've got some interesting I got some interesting news stories, Josh. Very interesting. And I want to hear Chris as well, what he thinks of some of this stuff. But I'll get Chris in on here in a minute. But one of these, Josh, is we talked about it vaguely. Oh no, I've got a better one. Michigan veterinarian faces theft charge after refusing to return homeless man's dog. So there's a Michigan veterinarian who is now being charged with theft because a homeless man's dog was not returned to him. And I think it's one of those like he said he rescued a distressed dog that was tied to a truck, but he's the one getting charged for it. Or she's the one getting. She took the dog on a 2-hour drive to her clinic, where she performed procedures to relieve a severe urinary tract infection and remove rotten tooth. She named him Bigby and says the 16-year-old pit bull mix is thriving nearly 4 months later. But his original owner is now charging her with theft.
Yeah.
Me thinks money grab. I think money grab.
Possibly. I don't know all the details about surrounding it, but I also know there's been people like where my dog's been outside and we have like a dog run or something, and they're like, "Oh, the dog's on a dog run. He can only run through most of the yard, not all of the yard." And they not try to take him off the chain and steal him or let him run away.
Right.
So it could be a situation of that as well. I don't know. Maybe he chained him up because he had to run inside and do somewhere. The truck broke down and he had to go and he couldn't bring the dog with him. I don't know. I don't know the details.
But according to the vet, she had to treat him for all these severe things, and he wasn't getting treated for, and he's thriving. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, just, hey, that's my dog. You know? And here's the one that I know is going to make Josh's day. And Chris, this is the one I want you on. This is the one I said we had talked about briefly. Prosecutor says golden toilet was stolen from English Palace in an audacious raid, boys. It was not your typical smash and grab burglary, and the booty was precious. A toilet worth more than its weight of gold. The one-of-a-kind 18-karat gold toilet was swiped in under 5 minutes from Blenheim Palace. Attorney Julian Christopher said in an opening statement in the Oxford Crown Court that this is an audacious raid. One of 3 men on trial in the case of the purloined potty was involved in stealing it, and the other 2 helped sell the spoils. The toilet has never been recovered, but is believed to have been cut up and sold. Josh, an 18-karat gold toilet.
Yeah, I actually have 2 of those in my house. I've never pooped in anything nicer, cleaner, better.
I don't know what I think, Chris, didn't you say last night something about what's the point? I think Chris brought up what is the point in having an 18-karat gold toilet? I mean, what is the point? Is there any reason to have an 18-karat gold toilet other than to show off?
Pretty much.
It's just amazing to me. And then there's a quote that says, one of the defendants, Michael Jones, cased the palace twice in the weeks leading up to the theft. Once before the toilet went on display at the palace, and up close and personal once it was installed and fully functional as an exhibit. So when it says up close and personal, he cased it twice. He cased the joint twice, once before it went on display and then up close and personal. Can we just dissect real quick for the viewers, do you think, Josh? What does up close and personal mean when you're talking about a toilet? Did he drop a deuce in the gold toilet before he stole it? That's my question. It says he was up close and personal. How much more up close and personal with the toilet do you have to be other than dropping a deuce and using it before you take it?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe he cleaned it.
After he dropped the deuce.
That's fair.
I mean, because I know, like, I clean my toilet every day. I want my bathroom to be clean. At the same time, I'm not interested in selling it. If you drop a deuce and then you sell the toilet, don't you want to make sure it smells like, cleaning? And how do you clean gold? Like, if you poop in it, how do you clean it? You can't use bleach because I think that destroys the mineral or the material. So how do you clean the poop?
I don't know. I don't know if I know the audience doesn't really know me that well, but I do not actually, in fact, own golden toilets. I use regular porcelain toilet, like a Neanderthal, like a squat.
You know what? Given the fact there's people out there with 18-karat gold toilets, Josh, I think that there's hope for us all.
I guess. If I'm going to waste money, I'm going to waste it on something else than a golden toilet.
Well, dude, it gets better. So he was one of a group of 5 men who crashed through the wooden gates of the palace before the dawn next morning in 2 stolen vehicles. They tore across the field in a Isuzu truck and a VW Golf and pulled up on the front steps where they smashed the window that was photographed with the toilet on display. They made quick work of breaking down the toilet door and removing the golden throne from the plumbing, leaving water gushing from pipes that caused considerable damage to the 18th century building, a UNESCO heritage site filled with valuable art and furniture that draws thousands of visitors each year. Jones was in cahoots with James Sheen, a builder who worked for who was part of the burglary and the effort to sell the gold. Christopher said Sheen, age 40, previously pleaded guilty to burglary, conspiracy, and transferring criminal property. So not only did they steal this toilet, Josh, they made an action movie out of stealing this toilet. They crashed through the wooden gates of the palace before dawn. They laid assault on a castle that had been laid assault before for a golden toilet. I wonder, what sort of alarm do you think was raised? Like, do you think there was any alarm raised at the palace?
I think they probably did something like, oh, shit!
I like the pun. I honestly like, who is that? That just goes to show how bad economic times are, because you're going to risk destroying all this property, crashing through a gate of a palace to steal a golden toilet. How much more desperation do we need to talk about before we admit that things are messed up in the world? Like, I'm not kidding you. And they not only that, but they stole cars. So they stole cars, crashed through before dawn, and I wonder, like, I just want to know if they played some sort of, like, what music do you think would have been used if that was a movie? I just want to know if the charge was the da 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 charge, and they go through the wooden gate, break through the glass, case the joint, take the toilet, dismember it, break it down, put it in the car, and haul ass back out while water is gushing from the palace ground, hitting valuables left and right, destroying artwork and old furniture and infrastructure and ATM. Like, this is something that could be made into a movie starring Will Ferrell. Like, I don't know. It's the most amazing thing I've ever heard to get a, that is just desperation at its point. But I just want to know, what would the soundtrack be, do you think, for that?
I think you did well with your song choice. My question is, they did arrest these guys? They found out who did it?
Yeah, they got him.
Were they plumbers?
One guy was a builder, which in the UK is one of the oldest professions. I don't know what the other guy was. It doesn't specify.
I was gonna say, like, to disconnect that toilet and and unhook it and load it up in the truck before the security got to you. That's impressive.
You know, it weighed just over 215 pounds and was insured for 4.8 million pounds. The value of gold at the time was 2.8 million. So it's a $5 million toilet. Now, Josh, if we ever won the lottery, would you buy a $5 million toilet? Chris, if you ever won the lottery, would you buy a $5 million toilet? I just don't know. I don't know what thought pattern do you think was going, like, you go out and you go, honey, yes, we need a new toilet.
Well, if they were if they knew it was in there, it could have been just like a thought process of maybe they're struggling, they're tired of it, and then you got this royal family, bunch of arrogant pricks that have so much wealth that they have golden toilets in their palace that you might think, you know what, screw them.
I honestly,
Let's call them out on this BS. We're struggling, and then they're pooping on gold.
This is what makes me happy about being Scottish. You never see Scottish castles with gold toilets.
You're Irish, bro.
I'm not Irish, dang it. I got Irish in my background, but I am a proud Scot, you jerk. You almost got me to slip up. I will not slip up. I will not. You can't make me. Oh my gosh. Other than that, man, it's today's world we live in, and everyone who's watching, we are prepared to, bring you a break. We want to bring you a break from the everyday trials and tribulations you face. And that's why we do sports, because sports bring people together. But additionally, reading stories about golden toilets and trying to think of a soundtrack, goofy things to get people's minds off their everyday struggles and make them think, it could be a lot worse. I could have a $5 million toilet be stolen from me. You know, I just think that with us doing this, coming back with a different format and really doing work that makes us proud and that makes us feel like we're doing something good in the world, I think that's one of the reasons that drives us to want to do this. And additionally, we get to have fun. People get to see our lunacy on display. And maybe we can teach someone something. Maybe. Just maybe. And that's all we have time for today, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate you guys very much. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Episodes will continue to get better as we explore this new format, but we are planning different discussions of things, and we are going to be including more content than just the podcast. So stay tuned for any updates on that. But all in all, thank you guys. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, share it with your friends, and we'll see you guys down the riverside. No cookie?
Yeah, I was saving it.
All right.